I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow said I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Welcome everybody to tonight's virtual cooking class. So we are here for a midwinter Christmas. This is a bit of a new concept to me because I grew up in a place where Christmas was always summer. So I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. It is hot at Christmas time, but apparently lots of people are from Europe, and in Europe they have a beautiful winter Christmas. And so they love to have a midwinter Christmas. And you know, I love the concept because I do love Christmas, and so having it twice a year, that sounds like a plan to me. So tonight we are going to be together for about an hour, and we are going to inspire you to create a midwinter Christmas at your house. So my name is Odette Smith. I am the Business Development Manager for Branch Kotahitanga. We cover Southeast Auckland, the Waikato and the Bay of Plenty, but you are welcome to be on here from all over the country. And I can see we do have lots of people coming to us from, you know, Southland and from all over, really, West Auckland, everywhere. So welcome, welcome. We're very, very excited to have you with us. We're going to be cooking a few different dishes tonight. And I have some of my amazing team leaders with me and consultants with me tonight to help us cook. And so you're going to be hearing from them one by one, but this is kind of what we'll be making. And, you know, hopefully there's a little bit of something for everybody. We do have the mulled wine for those of you who are not dry this July. And then for those of you who are dry, we're going to be making some gingerbread hot chocolate. We're going to be starting, we've got some pumpkin soup with crispy chickpeas. We have Estonian kringle, which is one of my favorites. Christmas tree spinach puff, super impressive if you have people coming around. And then salmon with yogurt dressing and steamed greens with lemon feta. As we cook, I will be popping the links to these recipes on Cookie Up, and you will be able to hop on Cookie and have a look at them. So a little bit of housekeeping. Top right hand corner, there's a view button, and you can change view from speaker view to gallery view. Speaker view is best for things like this because it means the person who is speaking or cooking is in a big box in the middle. Down the bottom, there is a chat box, and some of you have already used the chat box, some haven't. So please make use of it. If you ask questions, I will be able to see them in the chat box, and I will answer them for you. And when I ask questions, type the answer in the chat box, because otherwise I feel real silly, like I'm talking to myself. The more you interact, the more fun it will be tonight. So let's just get into it. I am going to hand over to Jodine. Jodine's going to introduce herself, tell you what she's cooking, and then we'll crack straight into it.
And she always has to unmute first. I'm Jodine. I am a team leader in Karaka, South Auckland, and I joined Thermomix in September last year, so quite a newbie, not even quite a year yet. Today we are going to do a salmon with yogurt dressing, so I get to go first because it does have to steam for a while. So let's crack into it. Start cooking. We're going to start with the yogurt dressing. So 1 garlic clove. Garlic never comes in ones in our house, so it has to be 2. Insert the measuring cup, and I've lost the lid. Next, 2 seconds on speed 7. Scrape down the sides with the spatula.
So while Jodine is scraping down the sides, I have popped the link to this recipe in Cookie Doo into the chat box. So if you just press on that link, it will take you to the recipe so that you can see what she is cooking.
So now we're going to add half teaspoon of salt. About there. Must be about there. 200 grams of yogurt. So I'm just using natural yogurt. We have 50 grams of tahini.
Now, did you know, Jodine, that you can make your own tahini in the Thermomix?
I did, and I should have, because you know how hard it was to find at the supermarket today.
It's really expensive as well. Has anybody had a go at making tahini? Say yes in the chat box if you have.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, Angie has. It's super easy. I think it's just sesame seeds, basically. And you can do it with white sesame seeds or black sesame seeds, which gives you a slightly different result.
Oh, that would be different, wouldn't it? So we're going to do 10 seconds, and it is turn the speed select to speed 4. And meanwhile, we're going to put in the juice of half a lemon at the same time. So I'm going to turn that on.
And I love, Jodine, how you're pouring it around the measuring cup, because I often find when I squeeze the lemon juice, some pips fall in. Yeah. And if you do it the way that you're doing it, the cup will trap the pips and only the lemon juice will get in, which is kind of clever.
No, definitely. Transfer into a sealable container. That looks yummy. Dressing, which looks divine. So I'm going to put it into a container for now. It's lovely and creamy.
I reckon you could use that yogurt dressing for other things as well.
I think it could be very, very nice as sort of a base for lots of dressings, just with the yogurt and the garlic. My husband would put blue cheese.
Yeah.
Because he does that too. So we have got a lovely good amount there. It says clean and dry the mixing bowl, but I just happen to have another one prepared earlier over here.
Love it. Having 2 bowls, almost as good as having 2 Thermomixes.
Yes. So 1,000 grams of water. So I've actually already put that in there. That's going to be our steaming water.
And guys, if you don't want to measure the 1,000 grams, there is actually a 1 liter mark kind of halfway up your Thermomix bowl on the inside, if you didn't know, and you can kind of just fill it up to that level.
Then we are going to put the varoma into place. So we're going to be steaming. Take the salmon off, the beautiful piece of salmon. Dinner tonight.
Ooh, yum.
Make room for it down there. Then on the salmon, we are just going to, so it says to put it onto a large piece of well-wrung wet baking paper.
Do you know why you do that, Jodine? Do you know why you wring it out first and wet it?
No, you need to tell me that.
Does anybody else know before I be a know-it-all about it? Michelle's shaking her head. It's actually because it cooks faster. So if the baking paper is wet, it cooks quicker because you don't have to wait for the steam to permeate the baking paper first and wet it. So that's why you do the same when you do couscous. You actually wet it first just so that you get some moisture into it. It goes quicker.
It's already in there. That makes sense. Thank you very much for telling me that. Now it makes sense. I just did it because I was told.
Yeah, I love Cookie Do. It always tells you the things to do.
So we're just doing some salt over the top. We're also, I have some smoked salt, so I'm just going to deviate from the menu just a little bit because that's just a little bit yummy. Some pepper and also just a drizzle. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing.
Okay. Oh, looks good.
Just a drizzle of olive oil as well. And then it says tightly wrap the salmon in the damp baking paper and place into the varoma dish. So we're just going to wrap up the Christmas present.
I love it. Now, I reckon you could also use some really beautiful flavored salts here. Has anybody made any flavored salt in their Thermomix? If you have, pop it in the chat box. Ooh, rosemary salt, Heidi. I've made that one as well. That's a good one.
So this going in. We are putting the lid on. And we are walking away from it for 20 minutes on varoma at speed 2. I'll see you later.
Good. Now, Tam's saying flavor bomb salt from Alice Alexandra is amazing. I haven't made that one. I've got that book, but I've actually not yet made it. So while Jodine's salmon is actually cooking, we are going to head over to Esther. I'm going to get her to introduce herself and tell you what she's making, and then she can get cracking. They know it's coming, but they're like, scramble, scramble, unmute.
Hi everyone, I'm Esther. I'm a team leader in the Bay of Plenty in Tauranga. And tonight I'm making the pumpkin soup with crispy chickpeas. You probably see me, I keep eating them. I made some earlier. I keep eating them because they're so tasty. Right, so we're going to start cooking. So preheat oven to 400. Oh, this is obviously an American recipe because all the measurements are in ounces and Fahrenheit. So 400 is 200 degrees centigrade.
Yeah, don't put it on 400 degrees Celsius. You'll have very crispy chickpeas.
Line a baking sheet with foil and set aside. Yep, done that. Place a bowl onto mixing bowl lid and 2 cans of chickpeas in there.
Now, I know you, Esther, and I know you love aquafaba, the chickpea brine. Did you keep it?
Of course.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm actually going to make some meringues because I've only made them once and they were so good. So I'm actually make those again.
Yeah, I've made those vegan meringues with aquafaba and they're actually really amazing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with that.
And then I'm going to make some mayonnaise as well.
Yum.
Okay, so we need ½ ounce of olive oil.
I love how you can just pop the bowl on top of that Thermomix and just, you know, bring up the scale and tear it and not have to use, you know, a separate scale. It's
Very handy. Half an ounce of maple syrup. And then we've got in here, we have half a teaspoon of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of pepper. So all that's going in there as well. And yeah, we're just gonna mix that all together and put it on the baking sheet. And they're gonna bake in the oven for about 40 minutes. It says 45 to 50, but I tried that the first batch and they've come out pretty crispy.
super crispy.
It says I'm gonna do about 20 minutes and I'm gonna turn them halfway and then do it for another 20 minutes, I think.
I feel like this would be a really great snack that you could serve as well if you were entertaining. You know, you don't have to put them in soup. You could just have them in a little bowl instead of nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very tasty. Yeah, so that's my first bit done. Am I carrying on with the soup?
Yeah, keep going.
So that's the top part of it. So we're doing 2 garlic cloves, except just like Jolene, whatever the recipe says is never enough, so I always double it.
You measure garlic with your heart, right?
Absolutely. Half an ounce of olive oil. Teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of dried sage. Put the lid on. And it's going to do it at speed 8 for 3 seconds.
We're just chopping really finely. I have put the link to this recipe up in the chat box if anybody wants to go and have a look at it.
So that's just chopped the garlic up nice and finely with the herbs.
Might get you to show us. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Back on. And this is going to just stir it on spoon stir for 3 minutes at, it says 212 Fahrenheit. I'm guessing that's about 100, maybe 90. So it's just sauteing the garlic and the herbs together.
Fantastic. So while that's happening, I'm going to add Bex as the spotlight. Bex, you get to introduce yourself and let everybody know what you're cooking tonight. I see you got a little helper out.
Yeah, hey, good evening, everybody. Noah, we're on the spotlight. Look.
I think you win the prize for best hat.
Oh, well, it is a midwinter Christmas, isn't it? I've always wanted to do a white Christmas. Yes, Noah. Okay, so what Noah and I are making tonight. Noah's 3 tomorrow, by the way. So say hi, Noah. Say hi. Okay. So we are going to be making the Estonian kringle. Very excited about this. Have not made it before. It's the first time for everything. All right, so let's start.
Like to live dangerously.
Wow, living dangerously. Okay, so what have we got in here, Noah? We got sugar and lemon. Put it in. Good boy. So we've just got some sugar, white sugar. We also had some lemon peel in there. We've already done that. I'm going to quickly put the lid on, and I do believe that we're going to create some lemon sugar.
I always love making the lemon sugar because it's just so fragrant. Like the whole kitchen always has that beautiful. While that's happening, you can also see Esther spreading out her chickpeas, getting them ready for the oven. And she's using the small thermomat, which can go in the oven instead of baking paper. Oh, does it smell good, Noah?
No, does it smell good?
No.
Does it smell tasty?
No.
Yeah.
So there is our milled sugar and lemon peel. And the smell is just incredible. They haven't designed Zoom to have smell go through it yet.
Smell vision.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just scraping down the sides so everything goes down to the bottom. We've just got 120 grams of milk. Let me do this one, okay? Got to be very careful. 30 grams of butter. You can do this one if you like. Ready? Up.
Such a good helper.
Give it a shake. Good boy. Oh, so clever. Now we've got the fresh yeast that my neighbor rescued me with.
Oh.
So I'm just going to put it into the liquid and not on top of the blades.
Good tip.
Put the lid on, and I do believe we're just going to do 1 minute and we're going to activate the yeast to 37 degrees.
Fantastic. And while that's happening, we'll head back over to Esther because I think she might be ready to continue. Oh, she's talking to herself while she's on mute.
Sorry about that. Yes, so that's really beautiful smell of garlic now in the kitchen. So now we're going to add 32 ounces of pumpkin. Now it says peeled. I don't peel my pumpkin because there's so much goodness in the skin, so I put that in as well. And it saves time.
And the great thing about the Thermomix is those blades are so powerful that at the end it's going to blitz it up so fine that it actually doesn't matter. So I don't peel my pumpkin either. And sometimes there'll be a few stray seeds. I don't worry about those either.
Yeah, same. So this 32 ounces of pumpkin is about half a large, big pumpkin.
So I'm just popping the link for the Estonian kringle into the chat box as well.
So it's saying 20 ounces of vegetable stock. So I did 19 ounces of water and a nice heaped tablespoon of the vegetable stock paste.
Fantastic.
Yeah, which is about 550 milliliters.
Perfect. So if you have a Thermomix at home, you will know that when you had your Thermomix delivered, you would have made this vegetable stock paste with your consultant. And hopefully you then went straight into a cooking experience, because delivery cooking experiences are the absolute best. They mean that you get the best use out of your Thermomix and you feel super confident when your consultant leaves.
So we pop the lid on, and this is just going to stir it gently on speed 1 at 100 degrees. For 20 minutes. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so the great thing is that now Esther can go off and do whatever she likes for 20 minutes and she doesn't have to worry about her soup. So Bex, back to you.
So we've just activated the yeast to 37 degrees, and we know that that's the temperature because of the little number here in the middle of the temperature circle. I've just put in an egg yolk. When you make this recipe, save the egg white because you're going to use it later on. I'm just going to do 4 seconds of mixing quickly.
So we have somebody saying that they love Noah's mini aprons. So these are actually available in the mix shop, guys, and they are really, really cute. And they actually fit kids of all different sizes, so they can grow into them as well a little bit.
So we've got 300 grams of flour. Noah, do you want to put the flour in? Flour.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, we've already used our little mini vat today to clean up.
I love it.
So clean up a whole lot of mess that we made earlier. 1 pinch of salt. Lucky we're not sharing that with anybody, eh?
Oh, what's a little bit of spit between friends there?
licking the spoon. All right, so we've got the flour in, we've got all of our ingredients, and we're just going to knead it for 2 minutes now.
Fantastic. And what's the tip, Bex, about kneading? What can you tell people?
Hold on. What did you say?
I said, what's the secret with kneading? What's the rule?
What's the rule? So kneading bread and making butter are the times that you need to stay by your machine. It's 2 minutes. You can do it. And then the second thing also is 2 minutes of kneading is the equivalent to 10 minutes of hand kneading.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So yeah, as Beck said, please don't leave your Thermomix alone when it's kneading because it can move around quite a lot, especially if you are making very sticky doughs like brioche or hot cross buns, and you would hate for your Thermomix to walk off the bench. So just stand next to it. It is only 2 minutes. And it is worth just staying there. So Bex was mentioning the mini vac. So do we have any new owners on tonight? Has anybody got a mini vac? If you do, pop yes in the chat box. I'd love to hear how people are getting on with their mini vac, because I know I love mine. You love yours, don't you, Bex? She can't hear me. She's just like, it's kneading.
Oh, what? Sorry? Are you talking to me?
I was asking you about your mini vac and whether
Oh,
you
yeah.
it, because
Hold on. I'll just send my husband to go and get it. He's going to get the mini vac, dear.
Yeah, so last month's gift with purchase or purchase bundle was if you purchased a Thermomix, you could get a mini vac, add one for $49. They are actually available in the mix shop though, guys. So, you know, if you like the look of it, then go have a look in the mix shop.
Noah has taken a real liking to it, and it's only 650 grams. So it's really easy for him to do himself. He's kind of playing it now.
Yeah. My dogs are really scared of the mini vac for some reason. Like they run away. So it's tiny, but it's mighty.
Let's have a look at our dough now. Our dough is ready. Okay. So it just needs to tip it out into a thermomat or into a thermo server. Here's our dough here. Now, when you tip your dough out, tip it straight upside down and just wiggle the blades here at the bottom. Give it a wiggle, you'll feel it fall out, and then nothing left in the bowl. Ta-da!
Good
Okay,
job.
so now we're going to put that aside and we'll see you in an hour. No, just kidding. I've got one that I prepared earlier, so just a little tip. Okay, you do it. Give me some. Give me some. There we go. There you go. There's Noah's. So a little tip when you're proving your dough. Oh.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, sorry. Low battery, guys.
You're all right.
So you hold the dough like this and move inwards. And so the bottom will kind of look like this. And this is a really good way of turning it into itself, and it helps it prove really well.
Oh,
thank you, Noah. Good job.
Good tip.
Okay. So here is the one that I prepared earlier. So it's all nice and risen. I'm going to tip it out onto the thermomat. Would you like me to, I need to make the filling first, don't I?
Yeah. So as Beck said, you can put the dough into rise. You can wrap it in the large thermomat, or you can put it into a thermo server. So both of those options are really great for rising dough. Both of those are available as a host reward for hosting either virtually or in person. Or if you've hopped on tonight with 2 friends, you actually are entitled to claim host rewards. So if you are here with 2 friends, yay, congratulations, and make sure to reach out to your consultant afterwards so that they can sort you out.
Cool. All right, so now we are going to do the filling, and I've got 50 grams of walnuts that I'm just going to put the lid on, and 2 seconds of chopping.
I love it. So Kellen's very excited in the chat box. I assume Kellen's got 2 guests hopping on and is going to be entitled to host rewards. So yay you.
Yay. All right, so there's our finely kind of coarsely chopped, not finely, coarsely chopped walnuts. We've got 50 grams of butter. Noah, are you eating the dough? Gosh. All right, we've got some sugar in here. I'm going to tip that in. 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. And we will pop that lid back on. We've got 30 seconds of mixing.
Fantastic. And so what's going to happen once Bex has got that filling ready is she is going to roll out the dough and then she's going to keep going. So I will put her on. She's pulling that face because she's like, eep, I didn't think this through. I'm going to mute her and she can start doing that. And I will add Lisa as a spotlight. So Bex, people will still be able to watch you rolling out the dough. Guys, feel free to ask questions about the process if you want to know a little bit more. In the meantime, though, let's add Lisa. So Lisa, introduce yourself and let us know what you're cooking tonight.
Hi everyone, I am Lisa. I am based in Waiuku but look after a team kind of in the South Auckland area. And I am going to be making steamed greens with lemon feta, which I've never made before, but I'm actually really excited about. My husband's getting some steak on the way home so that we can have it right now.
This is actually one of my favorite recipes, Lisa, and I have made it pretty much every Christmas since I've had my Thermomix because it's just a beautiful, festive, healthy, fresh recipe. So I'm looking forward to you making it.
It is, and it is super quick as well, especially the hands-on time. So what we're going to do is start cooking. We're going to pop in 1/2 to 1 lemon of the zest. I've gone with the whole lemon of zest because we like it quite lemony. So I'm going to pop that in and then I'm going to pop the lid on and it's going to go for 10 seconds. So it's going to chop that down nice and fine for us.
So what you can see there is Bex is rolling that dough out into a rough rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Once it gets baked, it will be beautiful.
So it has chopped it. It's still a little bit coarse. I'm going to give it a scrape down and it's going to go on for a second chop. So I'll just make sure that it's all back down by the blade so that it's going to have as much time chopping as possible. And then this time we're going to do another 10 seconds.
So Elaine has popped in the chat box that she actually makes this lemon feta all the time and she just uses it as a dip or a spread because she likes it so much. And I agree that this would make an amazing dip or spread. It's pretty yum.
I'm sure I'll agree. I can't agree yet, but I'm sure I will agree. So I'm going to give it another little bit of a scrape down and then I'll show you guys. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see through the camera, but it has got it quite a bit finer that second time. So we're going to pop that back on. And then we're going to go in with 40 grams of lemon juice as well. So it's extra lemony. And then we're going to do 200 grams of Danish feta, which I don't actually think I've ever used Danish feta before, but I only went to my veggie shop to get the stuff for tonight and they only had Danish feta. So we're actually following the recipe tonight, which is pretty unusual.
What the difference is between Danish feta and normally normal feta? Because I actually don't know.
I feel like based on having touched this tonight, it's quite soft and creamy as opposed to like the stuff you get at the supermarket, which is a little bit firmer generally.
Like more crumbly.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're going to go in with 50 grams of extra virgin olive oil. This is my good quality one that I use for things like this that aren't being cooked, so it adds like a really yummy flavor. We're going to do some black pepper. Mine's actually black, green, red, and white.
It's very festive.
I'm sure it will be fine. And then we're going to put the lid on and that is just going to combine together. So all of those ingredients. And we're going in reverse as well. So we're using that dull side of the blade and it's just 5 seconds.
So Bex, before you start doing that, just stop for a second for me. Lisa, Sheham's asking what brand of olive oil do you use? The fancy one.
Can you see it?
Yep, Matapiro. And then somebody's also commented on your Thermi decals. So do you want to talk about those a little bit more? Because they're a bit special.
Yeah, so the one on the right hand side says Aroha Kai, which is the name of my team, and obviously means love food, which is like huge in Thermomix. And then the heart on the left is something that all of my team have. So you'll see when Kelsey cooks, you might see one on hers. And also I send them out to my customers as well. So yeah, just something that I do.
So yeah, if you want a fancy sticker like Lisa's got, it means you've got to join her team, basically.
So that is it there, all combined. It's really creamy, which is like it's obviously going to be a really nice consistency. It's telling me to put it into a bowl and to clean this bowl and then to put another bowl on with water. So I've done what Jodine did earlier, and I have an extra bowl with that water all pre-weighed in there. So we did 500 grams of water. And then I've got my beans already here in the Varoma as well. So we're going to put them on top. And because they take a little bit longer to cook, they're actually going to cook for 4 minutes before we put the rest of the veggies on top. So that is just going to cook away now for 4 minutes.
I have a confession to make. When I make this, I take out the lemon feta and I don't actually clean the bowl. I just put the water in and steam it because you're going to put the lemon feta over it anyway. So like what a difference does it? I'm a bit lazy. So yeah, don't clean the bowl, just keep going with it. Right, so while that steams, let's go have a look what Bex is doing with the rolling up, because this is the part that it's not tricky, it's actually really easy, but this is the part that scares people. So let's see what Beck's doing.
I really like and I appreciate your optimism with it. And your faith in me.
Yeah.
So nice of you.
You got this, girlfriend.
Sushi it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
real good.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna do that again. I'm just
good.
Rolling it. The only tip that I have from experience just then is the butter that you use, make sure you've left it out for a little bit and it's kind of softened, because it's all clumped up, and I mean it's gonna melt anyway, but just yeah, and it did say that it need to be soft, but again, like I'm a lazy baker cook anyway, so that wasn't a priority for me. Okay, so here we go. And then apparently it says roll up lengthwise, then cut down the middle of the roll, but not completely to the end. So I'm going to go.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I actually used scissors when I did this. I just picked it up and then I just like cut down the middle of it, but you can use the dough scraper like you're doing as well.
But do not use a knife.
Don't cut your mat with the knife, definitely not. And if you're going to use scissors, be careful you don't cut your mat.
Twist each half over each other so that the cut side faces up, then join the ends together. Oh my word.
So what you need to do is you need to point the cut side up, and then you need to kind of just twist it around.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do it. That's it. So put one bit over the other. Yep, good. That's it. Then again. Yep, there we go. You got this, girlfriend. Everybody at home is holding their breath. It's looking good. It's going to be fine. I promise you it's going to be beautiful at the end. I actually make this a lot at Christmas time, and it is really pretty. No, it's good. Don't pull that face. You're doing good. You're doing good. I love it actually, like, because I feel like people hop on here and they don't want us to be really perfect and polished, and because people at home are real cooks, and they have times as well where they start making things and then go, oh, what have I got myself into? So I feel like this is very important. Look at that. It looks beautiful. Right. It's great. Heidi says it looks great. Look at that. And Bex, I promise you, once it's baked, it'll look fantastic.
This is my rose gold tray and I haven't used it yet, so I'm going to be blessing it with.
I love it. What a way to bless your rose. Yep, Sheham, you're right. Rustic is great. Good.
Okay, alrighty. So now I believe I put that into the oven for 20 minutes and I'll see you guys shortly.
You do. So 20 minutes in the oven, what degrees? Do you know?
180 degrees.
Fantastic. So we will see you again in a short while. In the meantime, let's go over to Michelle. So Michelle, again, introduce yourself. Tell us what you're cooking.
So nice to see you this evening. I'm Michelle Ramsey and I'm a team leader for East Auckland area. So I am cooking the Christmas tree spinach puff. And yeah, it's really great. It's using puff pastry. And I really, really wish I could say that I made my puff pastry to use in this recipe, but I would be lying. But you can. There is a very quick and easy puff pastry recipe called Quick Puff Pastry. It takes an hour and 20 minutes, but the actual working time to bring the puff pastry together, which is really butter, flour, cold water, and a bit of salt, takes 5 seconds. And then basically you put it into a dough, roll it into a little square, wrap it up and put it in chilled into your fridge. And then you start working the puff pastry, which is flatten, fold over, flatten, fold over. And you do that a couple of times. I just really ran out of time, but it's on my bucket list.
I love your honesty, Michelle, because I would have just pretended that I made the puff pastry.
It was a bit of a dilemma, but I decided honesty is how I like to operate. But the thing is, this is a great opportunity for me to practice because we've got a dough workshop coming up in August, and I am making the puff pastry dough. So I will be practicing before that one, I assure you. Lisa's got something to show us.
She's just going to show us quick because she's got to add some steaming and then we'll keep going with you.
Okay, so those beans have had 4 minutes and then now I'm just going to add some broccoli. The recipe actually calls for broccolini and asparagus, but instead I've done just a whole head of broccoli, including the stalks, all chopped up nicely. Like I've done them nice and thin so that they're going to cook through as well. And they go into the same part of the varoma. You might want to just make sure there's like a little bit of a hole in the middle so that the steam can come through really nicely. And then that is going to go on for 8 minutes now.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go back to honest Michelle.
Honest, naive Michelle, I was called earlier. So so this is actually also an American recipe. So preheating the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 200 centigrade, putting 2 sheets of your puff pastry onto a work surface and rolling that out into 9 by 12 inches, which I have done and set that aside. Into the Thermomix goes our 5 ounces of cheddar, and it turns into the weighing ounces automatically. So I really love that part. When you're wanting to grate cheese, I normally grate big blocks of it, do like a couple of 100 grams at a time, but you really want your cheese to be nice and ice cold, and then it grates it much better. We're doing 2 ounces of Parmesan. We put in the lid in and we're going to grate that together for 5 seconds on speed 10.
Now, guys, you know, cheese is very hard and so is the Thermomix bowl. So it's a very powerful sound, right? I do love the grating function of my Thermomix because I'm one of those people who grates my fingers continuously when I grate cheese. So it is actually one of my favorite things. Oh, look at that.
5 seconds.
Amazing.
Can you see it clearly? It's a bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Now it's asking me to put that into a bowl and set it aside. So let me just do that.
So this is another of my very favorite Christmas recipes because it is so impressive, you know, when you take this. And if you do use ready-made puff pastry, it is so easy to make.
It's very easy with the ready-made stuff. But I think even if you've got your own made, it's brilliant because you can freeze it as well. So now I'm just popping, making the filling. And so it's 3 cloves of garlic. And then I've put all the herbs together in one bowl. So we've got parsley and basil, oregano. I didn't have minced onions, so I just left those out. A little bit of dried rosemary, some salt, red pepper. I just put a teeny bit of cayenne pepper, otherwise the boys won't be eating this. We're going to pop the lid on. So in here, I've just got the garlic and the herbs, and we're chopping that for 5 seconds, speed 10.
So giving it a really, really good blitz.
Scrape down the sides. So look at that, it's chopped it really beautifully and finely. 5 seconds, speed 10. Smells gorgeous. And now it's asking me to pop in. So you use frozen spinach, which has been thawed, and then you squeezed out all the juices. And it's asking for 10 ounces, so I'm going to pop that in there. And let me put in some cream cheese, 8 ounces of cream cheese. Yum. This will not be going anywhere near my lips.
It's Christmas, right? Calories don't count at Christmas.
Not the calories. I can't do dairy. I realized that
Yeah, you can't do dairy. No dairy for you.
Yeah, so I'm adding my grated.
Shehan would like to know if you could use fresh spinach instead of frozen spinach.
I really would have liked to know myself. I think because I haven't made this before, I wanted to follow the recipe because I was like, I've got a whole big bag of frozen spinach.
I reckon that you could, Shehan, but you'll have to use quite a lot of fresh spinach because the frozen is a lot more dense. But I reckon you could.
From what I'm realizing, looking at the recipe, I think it's just mixing it through the cream cheese. So whether it's frozen or not. But I stuck with the recipe because I wanted to see what my result would be.
Lisa reckons maybe you would have to cook it first. I don't know. Is frozen spinach cooked though? I don't think it is.
Chopped. It's just been chopped and frozen.
We might have to do a little experiment. Shiam, you might have to do the experiment because you asked the question.
So we've just given that a beautiful mix up, and that's what we've got. It's asking us to do it again, but we really don't need to. It's perfect. So now it's asking us to spread it over our sheets of puff pastry. So I'll just get that quickly.
So lots of people giving us some advice in the chat box. Apparently frozen spinach is cooked already. I did not know that. So maybe just stick with the frozen. The great thing about frozen spinach is it's always in season. It's always in the freezer. And I actually think that it is quite cheap as well. So I love frozen vegetables. Melissa says that it's a micro kill step. That sounds like something from a video game. Oh.
So that's the bottom layer of pastry, which I've just cut into a tree shape. And this is my liner for my large rose gold baking tray. And I love these liners.
Eva, I reckon you can just use the stems too, because it really does blitz it quite finely. So I don't think you need to be too picky with what you use.
There were lots of stems in my frozen spinach that I had. So I've got a top and a bottom of my tree. So now it's telling me to spread this spinach mixture over the bottom part. There's quite a lot of.
So what Michelle's making is a spinach, so it's a savory one. I reckon this would be really nice sweet as well. So guys, in the chat box, if you were going to make a sweet one, what would you put in it? Or you can tell me what other savory ones you could make. I suppose you don't have to make spinach if it's savory, right? Lots of people saying Nutella. Yes, chocolate and berry.
Chocolate and marshmallows.
Even I reckon that filling that Bex put into the kringle, that like walnut, sugar, cinnamon, that might, you know, it might work.
That would be good.
I reckon you could. Oh, chocolate and marshmallow. I reckon you could even use the cream cheese with that filling that Bex made, because it'll just give it that creaminess. So yeah, lemon curd and raspberry. I love that. So Michelle, we actually cannot see you. You're a little bit out of the screen. Point us down. Oh, there we go. That's better. There we go.
So just spreading this over my tree, and then it says to put the next one sheet of pastry and roll over it with the rolling pin to kind of seal the edges together. So I wanted to do it when it was already It says to cut it afterwards, which didn't make sense to me. So I cut it first, and then I could seal the ends with the filling already inside to make sure that it stayed inside. So that's what I've done, and then I'll just roll it a little bit. I don't think it needs much rolling. Right, so now to shape, and I'm working quickly because I know we've got lots of other things to do. So I've got my dough.
Yep.
And I've just put this thing. This is what you use for
Spatula.
Yeah, icing.
Ooh,
so
that's a good tip.
Just going to go to the middle.
Because you don't want to go the whole way through.
No, I'm going to make the branches.
I love it. Looking good. And again, guys, you know, sometimes it can be a bit rustic. It's still going to look delicious at the end. It doesn't have to be perfect.
No, we don't do perfect. Not in this family. Yeah. So obviously it's a little bit trickier at the top, but that's looking good. Right, and following, covering, and seal the pieces. Right. Place a ruler down the center, and then twist each little of these ones. So you've got to just give them a nice little twist. Can you see that?
Yeah, we sure can. So it's just like a double twist, right? Obviously, the smaller ones, you're only going to twist once. Try to twist them all in the same direction. So up or down. So it's, you know, even. Good. So while Michelle is twisting there, I'm going to add Kelsey so that Kelsey can start her recipe. So Michelle, once you twist it, what do? Brush it with egg?
Brush it with some egg, and then I'm going to pop a few little red ballies and pop it in the oven for 25 minutes.
That's okay. So before you put it in the oven, hold it up so we can see you because you are still going to be spotlighted. Kelsey, I will let you introduce yourself. Tell us what you're cooking.
Hi everybody, I am Kelsey and I have been a consultant a year next week and I'm based in East Auckland. So today I'm going to be cooking the mulled wine, which is interesting because I don't actually drink. So
I love it. You're going to give it away though, right? Somebody's going to get enjoyment out of this.
Yes, someone's definitely going to enjoy it. So the first thing that we're going to do is pop in raw sugar. So it says 80 to 120. So I've just gone in the middle. And then 250 grams of water. So I have a pre-wafer, so I'm just going to pour. And then 20 grams of lemon juice, which I have already pre-squeezed. 2 of the cinnamon sticks. Twelve whole cloves. A quarter of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And then we're going to pop the lid on. And that's going to cook for 5 minutes, 100 degrees, and just on speed 1.
So if you are doing dry July, you can use a non-alcohol red wine for this recipe, so you can adapt it. I'm just quickly going to go over to Lisa because she is about to take her vegetables off, and then I think she's going to plate. Yep, they look pretty steamed to me.
They're really bright and vibrant too, which is nice. So I've just popped that feta mixture out onto a serving dish. And then I'm just going to pop all of the veg along the top. And then I have some nice diced red onion and some almonds. Chopped almonds. Mind blank, can't think of what they. Yeah, thank you.
Livid.
Thank
Livid.
you. So once I've added all the veg on, I'm going to top it with those as well to decorate it.
Fantastic. And what we'll do is we will come back to you at the end so you can show us the final product. Michelle is almost ready to pop that. So you can see how she is using the baby tomatoes kind of as little Christmas baubles, which is kind of cute. And then she is going to pop that into the oven. I'm going to head back to Jodine, and so we can see what that salmon is looking like at the moment.
Here we go. So that came out. Now, can you see it there? Yeah,
we can. Yep.
It did say to take the skin off and the grey bits underneath, but I think that's just a waste. So that stays there for us, and we will be eating that as well. And I'm glad you came back, because the next step is to actually peel away the skin, rinse and dry. Gone back to the new bowl. 80 grams of walnuts. And they go in, and they actually roast for 8 minutes on Varoma. So I'll put those on and then come back again.
Fantastic. And that actually gives us some time to head over to Hayley. So Hayley is the last person you are going to meet tonight. She's going to introduce herself and she'll tell you what she's making.
Hey everyone, I'm Hayley. I'm a team leader from Pukekohe. Tonight I'm making gingerbread hot chocolate. This is not a cookie dough recipe. We will use the manual cooking. And this is really perfect when you want to convert your own favourite family recipes using the manual mode. You definitely can. So my ingredients are chocolate milk, brown sugar, cocoa, ground ginger and ground cinnamon. So I'm going to pop all of those into the bowl and then blend it for 15 seconds on speed 4. Turn my further mix on.
So what we will do, guys, is I'll get Hayley to write this recipe up with her Thermomix conversion, and we'll actually pop it up in the event so that you can go on to my Thermodet page into the event and you will be able to see this recipe so that you can make it at home.
So 15 seconds and then over to speed 4.
And so that's just given it a little stir, is it, Hayley?
Yes, yeah. And then once that stops, we're going to heat all those ingredients up. So now we're going to heat that for 5 minutes at 70 degrees on speed 2.
Fantastic. So that's just warming up the milk. Right. Kelsey, how are you looking? How much time have you got there?
50 seconds.
Fantastic. So let's add Esther quickly, because I know that Esther is probably waiting to puree her soup. She's been waiting patiently.
Yes. Yeah, we're just going to go on to speed 4 for 1 minute.
Fantastic. And is that the one where you go to speed 4 and then you gradually increase to speed something else?
Yeah.
Or is it just
to speed 6, actually, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, if you have a TM6, what you can do as well is you can actually go over to blend mode. So you could stop the recipe, go to blend mode and just blend it up for 1 minute, because in blend mode, it actually automatically goes from that speed 4 up to, you know, speed 8 or whatever you want to blend it at. Soup's one of the amazing things you can make in your Thermomix, because they are just so beautifully pureed and smooth and, yeah, delicious. And so great for the winter at the moment. The other great tip I have for you is when you are blending soup, there is some steam that comes out around the measuring cup. Please don't try and put a dish towel or anything over the Thermomix to block the steam. Steam does need to escape. So you don't want to, you know, be blocking it. Good. Kelsey, what are you adding?
So red wine.
Yep.
I actually went into the supermarket, and because I don't drink, I had no idea what I was looking for, and I stood there looking really lost and had to Google it. So
the great thing about mulled wine is you can actually use really cheap red wine and it still comes out great. Looking good. All right, so Esther is going to pour that soup into her bowl, her serving bowl, and then you actually scatter the crispy chickpeas over the top, don't you, Esther?
Yeah.
Yep, that's looking good. Yum. That looks delicious.
And so I've just popped the lid back on, and for 7 more minutes, it's gonna cook away at 80 degrees.
Fantastic. All right, Hayley, how are you looking?
2 minutes. I was just going to say, if you wanted to go a little bit extra, on Cookie Doo, there is a recipe for gingerbread ice cream. So popping a scoop of that into your cup first, and then the hot chocolate poured over the ice cream. And also on Cookie Doo, the recipes for gingerbread marshmallows to pop on top, and gingerbread biscuits or the little gingerbread men to dip into the hot chocolate as well. That just makes it extra special. And the hot chocolate is perfect for obviously this time of the year while it's cold. You know, whip this up, rug up to the fire, indulge in your gingerbread hot chocolate.
Yum. So Shiam is saying that she actually made the gingerbread ice cream last Christmas and it was really, really yummy. So I love that for an idea. What's that called? Affogato, where you put ice cream and then you pour coffee or hot chocolate or whatever over it. So that's a great idea. And yeah, you definitely can use the little gingerbread men just to make it beautiful. Hayley is our plating and food photography expert. And so Hayley always makes things look really, really beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to what this is going to look like. Oh, there we go. Look, she's got a cup. And
yeah, it's just a mixture of marshmallows, caramel, crunchy, and ginger nut biscuits.
That's amazing. So Esther was just showing us to do. At the end, I am going to come back to these now to show us the finished cooking. I'll just let them know because I don't want to keep food and to get back over the bowl. Esther's all ready to go. So I will move the cooking. So Hayley, at the moment, is that frothing up a little bit? What food are you doing?
I can't really hear you. You're a little bit muffled.
That's okay.
That's good.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know what happened there. There was some noise from somewhere. I was saying, what speed are you heating that up at? Is it frothing at the same time or?
2. You could put it up to speed 3 if you want to get it a little bit more frothier.
Yep, good.
20 seconds. Smells really good. You can hear, smell those hints of ginger and cinnamon coming through.
Yum.
And basically what I'm going to do, I've also put chocolate in the cup just because it'll be all really nice once it's all melted. So I'm just going to pour the hot chocolate in and then put a little bit of whipped cream in. I've put a hint of cinnamon in the whipped cream also. So I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon over top. So you don't want to fill it all the way to the top, just maybe 3/4.
Yum. This one looks good. My kids would love that.
Yep. And then all that chocolate at the bottom is going to melt as well.
Yum. I wish it was
really, really good. I would have liked to have done the ice cream. I think that would just, be pretty good.
Next time, when we get to summer, Christmas, you can make ice cream and,
Yeah. So whipped cream on top. This is my piping bag that's just from our mix shop. You can get way too much in.
That's okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to add Jodine to the spotlight just so that she can tell us how she's going with her walnuts.
5 seconds. 4
seconds. Look at that. There we go. So Hayley's got that cream coming through and you can see she's just piping a generous amount onto that hot chocolate. It's looking really yum.
Then I got marshmallows to go on top. And then top it off with a little bit of flake.
Yum.
And you've got a cinnamon stick that you can also use for stirring in the cream. And then dust off with a little cocoa.
Oh, that looks good. I feel like we should all be together so we can be having this little feast. It looks beautiful. Right. No, I know Hayley's going to take some really amazing photos of that, and we will come back at the end and you'll see them all together. In the meantime, Jodine, what do you got going on there?
Right, so I've just taken the walnuts out. They're nice and warm and crunchy now. So then we're going 20 grams of fresh coriander. Some people would say, ooh, yeah, we like lots. So, yeah.
So guys, in the chat box, coriander, yay or nay?
Yes.
Yeah, Helen says, yeah, I'm a yay as well, yay. Callan is a nay. What's a yay? Megan is a very enthusiastic no.
Mint, 2 sprigs of mint, 1 to 2 fresh long red chilies. So I've just done 1 and taken the seeds out because I'm not that much of a hot chili person. Insert the measuring cup. And that is going to go for 4 seconds at speed 7.
Yeah, I feel like there are more yays tonight. Sometimes we ask and there's like an overwhelming nay, but yeah. Apparently people have a gene and then they can't have coriander. It tastes like soap. Apparently that's the deal, right?
I've lost my spatula. Anyone seen it? No, the husband can't even find it. Oh, there it is. It's in the sink.
Just blame the husband, right? They always blame the husband.
Yeah, the stirry stick, as they would call it. So that is just starting to chop up.
Yeah.
Then we are going to 1/4 of a brown onion. Oh, that chili's gone.
Oh no, you got the coughs on.
Straight to the back of my throat. 30 grams of lemon juice. 1 teaspoon of sumac. Now I couldn't find that and I don't have it, so I googled it, and it is like a lemon pepper.
It is.
So I did some lemon zest and some pepper.
Yeah.
So same
Sumac
thing.
is great. It's a very Middle Eastern spice, and you can put it on hummus, or yeah, it's yum.
So I thought I will make that myself. 2 teaspoons of oil. And the walnuts back in. And we are going to chop that in. So this is making almost like a crust to go over top.
Yeah.
3 seconds at speed 5.
So I have also trimmed Bex, and Bex is going to come back because she is going to make that glaze for the kringle. And as you can see, her kringle looks beautiful now. Turned out perfectly.
Okay, so do you want me to dress the wine?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you're putting
yogurt. Half the yogurt in the over the salmon. So I've already put some into the serving bowl there to go with it. We're going to spread.
Yum.
Yeah, it looks really yum. I can tell you that the yogurt dressing just tastes nice by itself.
I love it.
Already, I can tell you that. And then we do spoon the walnut crumble over the dressing. Oh,
that looks beautiful. Yum. Melissa is saying lemon myrtle would be a nice substitute for sumac if you can find it.
Yes.
That looks beautiful. So you're just sprinkling some of that crust over.
Yes. So it is sort of, it's almost like a wet crumble of those fresh herbs, the chili, and I will show you a bit closer. Oops, it's falling off. I need Hayley here to plate for me.
Perfect. Oh, there we go. That looks beautiful. Right, I'll let you present it to us at the end. In the meantime, Bex, what are you stirring up there?
Okay, what I'm stirring up is just some icing sugar and some egg white. So that leftover egg white from that egg yolk that we used, and I reminded you to keep it, which I didn't do earlier. So that's why I thought I'd pass it on to you. So I'm just giving this a quick mix. There we go. And then I'm going to glaze it over the top of my Estonian kringle. I'm actually in a little bit of shock that I pulled this off.
Look how beautiful. I told you. It doesn't matter what it looks like going in the oven. It always comes out looking beautiful. And this is a really great dish, guys. So definitely give it a go. Because
I kind of feel like MasterChef, like,
it's pretty.
You know, standing there waiting for it to come out and wondering if it's going to work.
Right.
Okay, there we go. I'm just going to go for it.
Excellent. Now, Kelsey is the only one who has to finish their dish. While that's happening, everybody else is vigorously plating. So Kelsey, you tell us the last step of yours, and then while that happens, the girls are getting their dishes ready to present to everybody at the end. So
the last thing to do is to strain it through a simmering basket. I've also put my nutmeg in there, which is available on the mix shop. So I'm just going to pour
that. That looks so warming. I love it. All looking really good. So I'm finding all the girls so I can spotlight them so that we can show you all the dishes. I know we've run over by about 10 minutes. Sorry, guys. Thank you for giving up your Friday to come and hang with us. We've loved having you. There we go, into a pitcher. And then you pour it into a glass to serve?
Yep. I'm going to pour it into a bottle.
I love it.
Taking away.
Taking it somewhere tomorrow night. Excellent. So I'm going to add Michelle, and we'll see how her spinach puff is looking. I think she's frantically getting it out of the oven. There we go. Oh, it's looking beautiful. Look at that, Michelle. I love it. So all of the girls showing you their dishes now. So what a feast. And we have been cooking for, I don't know, about an hour, but we have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. So that's pretty cool. So I hope this has inspired you guys to create a midwinter Christmas at home. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'd love to hear in the chat box what your favorite thing about tonight was. We will be repeating this at the end of this month. We do have a vegan virtual cooking class coming up. We're doing a collab with the South Island, and we are also planning our Friday Fake Away Part 2, the Asian edition. So we will keep you posted with that date. But thank you so much for coming. We've absolutely loved hanging out with you. As I said, if you did have some friends on tonight, reach out to your consultant because they will be able to sort the host rewards. If there's anything we can do for you moving forward, if you know you're interested in buying a Thermomix or joining our team, which is the best idea ever, or hosting a cooking experience at your house, then please reach out to us and we will be able to help you with that. But it has been our absolute pleasure to cook with you tonight. Thank you to my lovely consultants and team leaders who helped me tonight. And yeah, I hope you all have an amazing evening.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow said I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to heat, sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be nice and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases